Does Rob know? Oh, there we are. Good morning. I'd like to read an opening statement. This is to advise the general public that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 entitled Senator Byron M. Barrow Open Public Meeting Act, New Jersey Casino Control Commission on December 9th, 2020, filed with Secretary of State at the State House in Trenton an annual meeting schedule. On December 9th, 2020, copies were mailed to subscribers. Any member of the public who wishes to address the commission will be given the opportunity to do so before the commission adjourns for the day. Please acknowledge the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. We are going to go a little out of,
No, you don't read that.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm pleased to be able to chair this meeting from the Commission's offices in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I welcome everyone who is joining us remotely today. As a measure to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and to protect the health and safety of meeting participants, as well as members of the public interested in the meeting, the Commission is using remote collaboration technology for meeting participants. The public is able to listen through access provided on the Commission's website, as well as through our YouTube channel. We will accept public comments via email. Public comments can be sent to public.comments@ccc.state.nj.us. I'll repeat that. public.comments@ccc.state.nj.us, beginning now and any time throughout the meeting, ending at the time of adjournment. This meeting is being transcribed as well as recorded, and minutes will be available on our website in due course. To meeting participants, callers, I ask that you follow the instructions provided with the web link or audio call-in code and place your phone on mute until your matter is called. Also, please remember to identify yourself before speaking for the record. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'll call the roll. Vice Chair Cooper
Here.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Here.
No items were discussed in closed session this morning. First item for your consideration, we're calling out of order, is agenda item number 16, which is the resolution of the Casino Control Commission acknowledging March as Problem Gambling Awareness Month.
Thank you. I'll read this resolution. Resolution of the New Jersey Casino Control Commission acknowledging March as Problem Gambling Awareness Month. Whereas problem gambling is a significant public health issue that affects millions of Americans of all ages, races, and ethnic backgrounds in all communities, and one which has significant societal and economic cost. And whereas problem gambling is a treatable disease and proper management is invaluable in minimizing the harm to individuals, their families, and society as a whole. And whereas promoting an awareness month provides an opportunity for the problem gambling community to educate the public and policymakers about the treatment and support services available for problem gamblers and the social and financial effectiveness of those services. And whereas the state of New Jersey, through the Division of Gaming Enforcement, operates a self-exclusion program and through fees imposed on the casinos provide financial support for the Council on Compulsive Gambling of New Jersey and its 24-hour confidential 1-800-GAMBLER hotline, which is 1-800-426-2537. And whereas efforts by the Council on Compulsive Gambling of New Jersey, Gamblers Anonymous, and counseling and treatment programs all have significant positive impact on gamblers, their families, and communities across the state. And whereas Governor Philip D. Murphy designated March 2021 as Problem Gambling Awareness Month in the state of New Jersey, thereby providing an opportunity to further encourage the efforts of the Council on Compulsive Gambling to educate the public and healthcare professionals about the warning signs of problem gambling and raise awareness of the programs and services that are available both locally and nationally. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Casino Control Commission, we support Problem Gambling Awareness Month and hereby express its gratitude for its ongoing efforts of the Council on Compulsive Gambling of New Jersey to offer prevention, treatment, and hope to those affected by problem gambling. Be it further resolved that this resolution be placed in a record of commemoration of our support and appreciation on behalf of myself, Chairman James Plosis, and Vice Chair Alicia Cooper. At this time, we're honored to have Neva Pryor, the Executive Director on the Council on Compulsive Gambling of New Jersey, here to say a few words about the fine work they're doing in New Jersey. Neva?
Thank you so much, Chairman Plosis, and I also would like to thank Alyssa Cooper for always being supportive of Problem Gambling Awareness Month and opening your doors to us when we could. I believe it was this time last year that we were together the last time. So I'm really happy that technology has made it available so that we can at least see each other virtually. So I want to thank you for presenting the proclamation and announcing the governor's proclamation for Problem Gambling Awareness Month. The Council on Compulsive Gambling of New Jersey is grateful to the Division of Gaming Enforcement and the Casino Control Board for its support of the Council's commission to help the problem gambler and their families. We educate the public to understand that there is help for the problem gambler. During the Problem Gambling Awareness Month, we encourage everyone in the state to understand problem and disordered gambling. While the COVID pandemic has curtailed many of our in-person presentations, the Council has not let that deter the support, treatment, and hope many have needed. We have been able to engage more treatment providers to help the problem gambler and their families. The Council staff and its Board of Directors have worked harder during this time to find innovative ways to achieve these goals. We are hoping that when the COVID-19 pandemic is over, we will be able to continue to offer more support, treatment, and hope for the problem gambler and their families. So in closing, as I always like to say, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 800-GAMBLER. We offer support, treatment, and hope. We're just a phone call or click away. And I also would like to thank Dan Hennigan, who is the Vice President of our board, for attending. Thank you.
Thank you, Neva. We're also honored today to have Steve Callender, the Regional President of Caesars Entertainment Incorporated and President of the Casino Association of New Jersey, to say a few words in regards to this matter. Steve?
Thank you, Chairman Plosis and Commissioner Cooper, for inviting me here today to address this very important topic of responsible gaming. As you know, I've been in Atlantic City working in casinos since the first day in 1978, and I can tell you that the focus on this is nothing like it was at the beginning. It's something we had never heard of, and it's refreshing to see where it is now. While March is recognized as Responsible Gaming Awareness Month, as casino operators, we encourage and promote responsible gaming every day. The Atlantic City Casino Industry remains committed to ensuring that all play responsibly, while we empower our team members to effectively respond to potential gaming-related problems. Promoting responsible gaming is part of the heritage and culture of our businesses. We want everyone who gambles at our casinos to be responsible and not gamble beyond their means. We believe that all entities involved in legal wagering have an obligation to promote responsible gaming and address underage gaming. All casino operators in the Atlantic City market share a strong commitment in this regard. Caesars Entertainment has been recognized as the industry leader in responsible gaming since the 80s. In 1995, Caesars Entertainment helped fund the first national helpline for gaming disorders, providing callers with counseling and direction to local assistance in any state, including New Jersey. All the Atlantic City casinos have protocols to handle underage situations, as well as self-restricted and self-excluded lists. Additionally, our casinos ensure that we have responsible gaming signage and resources for help on the casino floor, throughout our back of house area, and on online so that our team members know where to refer customers seeking assistance. We take great pride in our approach to responsible gaming, which is built on clear objectives, measurable outcomes, and scientific research and evidence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Callender. We appreciate those comments, and on behalf of myself and Commissioner Cooper, we want to thank both Neva Pryor and Steve Callender for attending today, and it's a very important topic. We concur with the governor's thoughts on this matter as well, and we're honored in New Jersey that we're ahead of the curve in regards to addressing this issue and working collaboratively to make sure that we resolve this issue. Thank you.
We're going to adopt the resolution.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept that resolution?
I will
I have a
second that.
motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will return to the order of the agenda. For your consideration is item number 1 is ratification of the minutes of both February 10, 2021 public meeting and the February 19, 2021 special meeting. I would ask that each meeting be voted on separately.
We have a motion for the February 10th, 2021.
Mr. Chairman, I move to ratify the minutes of the February 10th, 2021 meeting.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
The February 19, 2021 meeting minutes.
Are there any questions or corrections to the February 19th, 2021 special meeting? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I move to ratify the minutes of the February 19th, 2021 meeting.
I second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Item number 2 are applications for initial casino key employee licenses identified on the agenda as A, Michael M. Clement, B, Armani C. Stewart, C, Jeffrey G. Ray, and D, Thomas J. Yacconi. With respect to B, C, and D, those matters have been reviewed. The division has no objection. Staff recommends that those 3 initial casino key employee licenses be granted. Mr. Clement's matter, A, will be called separately.
Are there any questions regarding these matters? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 3 initial casino key employee licenses.
I second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. 2A, Michael M. Clement. Issues have been raised with respect to that matter by the division, and staff recommends that that matter be remanded to the conference contested case process.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I move to remand for a hearing the initial casino key employee license application of Michael M. Clement.
I second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Item number 3 are your resubmitted casino key employee licenses. They are identified on the agenda as items A through J, A being George J. Bannon Jr., B, Maura A. Buckley, C, Lynn H. Carrington, also known as Lynn H. Jones, D, Domingo Cruz, also known as Domingo Cruz, E, Kelly A. DeSilis, also known as Kelly A. Powell and Kelly A. Petrie, F, Dawn M. Howe, also known as Dawn M. Stewart, G, Joseph A. Malchoni Jr., H, Joseph R. Russell, I, Thomas M. Santori, and J, Kevin with an E, G, Stauffer. All items have been reviewed. The division has reported positively on each. Staff has reviewed and recommended those 10 resubmitted casino key employee licenses be granted.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 10 resubmitted casino key employee licenses.
I second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Item number 4 are approvals through delegation of authority between February 5, 2021 and March 4, 2021 pursuant to resolution number 17011111C. Mr. Eeler, licensing and financial evaluation manager, is on the line to review those matters with you. However, no action is required.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioner Cooper. Patrick Eeler, Casino Control Commission here. Between February 5th and March 4th, 2021, the staff of the Commission's Regulatory Affairs Division granted the following approvals via delegated authority. On February 11, 2021, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to Luis B. Narvaez for account room supervisor position at Resorts Atlantic City. On February 12, 2021, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to John R. Howard III for a dual rate security shift manager position at Ocean Casino. On February 17, 2021, the temporary casino key employee license was granted to Kelly S. Great for a dual rate surveillance supervisor position at Ocean Casino. On February 22nd, 2021, a multi-casino endorsement on an existing casino key employee license was granted to Vicki Lynn Gavayan for a Director of iGaming Compliance position for Hard Rock Atlantic City and Boardwalk 1000. On February 22nd, 2021, a temporary key employee license was granted to Dennis Rickey for a Surveillance Director position at Bally's Atlantic City. And on February 25th, 2021, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to Kevin Coulter for a Sportsbook Assistant Manager position at Ocean Casino. This shall memorialize the noted approvals that were granted by delegated authority during this period, and no further commission action is required.
Thank you. Item number 5 for your consideration are requests for inactivation of casino key employee licenses. In lieu of reading them, I will defer to Mr. Eeler to address those matters for you.
Good morning again, Patrick Eeler. In lieu of filing a casino key employee license review application, the following 6 individuals have requested to be placed on a casino key employee approved inactive list for a period up to 5 years. They are Paul F. Gotti, John M. Grasso, Anthony R. Mantione, Kevin M. Smith, Anthony Tavacchio, and William E. Wanna. Commission staff has reviewed these requests and recommends granting the requested relief.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the requested relief and order that the 6 casino key employee licenses be inactivated.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you.
Item number 6 are consideration of the lapsing of casino key employee licenses. Again, in lieu of reading the names, I will defer to Mr. Eeler to review those matters with you.
Okay, this is Patrick Eeler again, Casino Control Commission. There are 4 individuals for your consideration to lapse their casino key employee license. In each case, the casino key employee license review application filing deadline has passed, and the individual has not filed a casino key employee license review application or requested to be placed on the inactive list. Based on these facts, staff recommends that the casino key employee licenses of Colleen M. Carmen, Tab A. Duchital, Rose C. Lepore, and Stephen J. Rayo be deemed to have lapsed.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to find that the 4 casino key employee licenses lapsed pursuant to NJAC 19:41A-6.1F of the regulations.
I second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 7 is consideration of the plenary qualification of Scott Wessel to serve as Senior Vice President, Technology and Digital Solutions for MGM Resorts International. Senior Counsel Teresa Pimpinelli is available to review that matter with you.
Good morning, Chairman and Vice Chair Cooper. This is Teresa Pimpinelli, Senior Counsel for the Commission Appearing. For your consideration is the plenary qualification of Scott Wessel to serve as Senior Vice President, Technology and Digital Solutions for MGM Resorts International. You may recall that the Commission found Mr. Wessel temporarily qualified on July 15, 2020 for this position. A draft resolution was distributed to the parties. Pat Madamba is here on behalf of petitioners, and Tracy Richardson is here on behalf of the division. I would now ask counsel to enter their appearances to proceed.
Good morning. Patrick Madamba, Senior Vice President and Legal Counsel of MGM Resorts International on behalf of MGM and Mr. Wessel. We've reviewed the draft resolution in its final form and substance. We just ask that the finding of qualification be granted. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman Plosis and Vice Chair Cooper. Tracy Richardson, Deputy Attorney General for the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have our report, which recommends the plenary qualification for Mr. Wessel. We've also reviewed the draft resolution and have no objections. Thank you.
Are there any questions for counsel? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and find Scott Wessel qualified to serve as Senior Vice President, Technology and Digital Solutions for MGM Resorts International in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1 C and D, NJSA 5:12-89B 1 and 2, and NJAC 13:69C-2.7.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Cooper, Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Item number 8 is the petition of Tropicana Atlantic City for the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license to Zarui, also known as Zara Alian, pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E, and to permit her to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President of Finance pending her plenary qualification. Again, Senior Counsel Pimpinelli will review that matter with you.
Hello again, Chairman and Vice Chair Cooper. Teresa Pimpinelli again appearing for the Commission. For your consideration is the petition for temporary qualification and for a temporary casino key employee license for Zaruri Alliance to permit her to presume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President of Finance for Tropicana Atlantic City Corp. Pending her plenary licensure and qualification. A draft resolution was circulated to the party. Bessie Sacco is here on behalf of the petitioners, and Camila Ferrer Mendez is here on behalf of the division. And I would just ask counsel to enter their appearances for the record and to proceed.
Good morning, Chairman Pelosi, Commissioner Cooper, Bess Sacco, Vice President of Legal Regulatory, Caesars Entertainment, appearing for Tropicana Atlantic City's petition for the temporary casino key licensure and temporary qualification of Zara Alian to serve as the Vice President of Finance for Tropicana Atlantic City. Just a little Miss Alian is a Caesars Entertainment employee. She was formerly Vice President of Finance for Harrah's Philly, and she'll be joining us. And again, I've looked at the division's letter interposing no objection, as well as the draft resolution, and I have no objection, and I would respectfully request that the relief be granted. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman and Vice Chair Cooper. Camila Mendez Ferreira, Deputy Attorney General on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. we have advised on March 1st, 2021 by email that the division had no objection to Ms. Elaine's temporary key licensure and temporary qualification for her to serve as VP of Finance for Tropicana. I have also reviewed the draft resolution and I have no objections. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the joint petition and issue a temporary casino key employee license to Zaruhi Alayan pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E and NJSA 19:41A-5.3D, and permit her to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President of Finance for Tropicana Atlantic City, pending plenary qualification, in accordance with the conditions contained in NJSA 5:12-85.1, NJSA 5:12-89, and NJAC 13:69C-2.6.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Vice Chair Cooper?
Yes.
And Chairman Pelosi?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 9 is the petition of Golden Nugget Online Gaming LLC for the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license to Michael J. Harwell pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E, and to permit him to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, pending his plenary qualification. By way of a little bit of brief background, this matter now comes to you by way of a letter petition that was filed on February 17, 2021, PRN 04-92102. As a matter of cleanup, Mr. Harwell was temp qualified by the Commission at your September 16, 2020 meeting as CFO for GNOG, Inc. And if you recall, at your 11/25/2020 meeting, we addressed the Internet Gaming Affiliate License of GNOG, Inc. and GNOG LLC, its successor, as well as various holding companies. At the time, there was a request pending for Mr. Harwell's temporary casino key employee licensure and qualification for the additional successor company, as well as the intermediary and holding companies, but that matter seemed to not have been specifically addressed. Counsel for the petitioner now is doubling back to have you specifically address Mr. Harwell's temporary key licensure and qualification for the additional holding companies and the successor company. And that being said, I will defer to counsel to proceed accordingly.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioner Cooper. Paul Aguirre, Brownstein Hyatt, Barbara Schreck for the petitioner. I won't repeat the history which Ms. Fauntleroy has accurately described to you. We've reviewed the resolution. We ask that you adopt it and issue a temporary casino key employee license to Mr. Harwell, nunc pro tunc to the date of his temporary qualification in connection with GNOG. Thank you.
Dylan Thompson on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. Good morning, Chairman and members of the Commission. The Division has emailed a response to the petition on March 3rd, 2021. The Division has no objections to Michael Harwell being granted a temporary casino key employee license and a residency waiver. The Division has reviewed the draft resolution and has no objections. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for counsel? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the joint petition and issue a temporary casino key employee license to Michael J. Harwell pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E and NJSA 5:12-89B for and permit him to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President and Chief Financial Officer for Golden Nugget Online Gaming LLC, Golden Nugget Online Gaming Inc., LHGN Holdco LLC, and GNOG Holdings LLC, nunc pro tunc, to November 25th, 2020, pending plenary qualification in accordance with the conditions contained in NJSA 5:12-85.1C, NJSA 5:12-89B 1 and 2, and NJAC 13:69C 2.7 C and D.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Vice Chair Cooper
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 10 is the consideration of the plenary qualification of Keith Causey to serve as Vice President, Strategic Business Services and Information Technology for Caesars Entertainment Corporation. Again, this matter was initially considered by you at your July 15, 2020 meeting, at which time you granted temporary qualification to Mr. Causey in connection with the Eldorado and Caesars merger. At the time, you granted temporary qualification in the capacity of Senior Vice President and Chief Accounting Officer. It was identified at that time that post-merger his title would be changed to Senior Vice President for Strategic Business Services and Information Technology. Now before you is his plenary qualification, and I would ask that council introduce themselves and proceed.
Beth Sacco, Caesars Entertainment, on behalf of the petitioners. We have reviewed the draft resolution and we have no objection to it, and we would respectfully request that Mr. Causey be issued his plenary qualification to serve as the Senior Vice President of Strategic Business Services and Information Technologies for. Thank you.
Good morning again, Chairman and Vice Chair Cooper, Camila Mendes Ferreira, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. The division has filed its letter report on February 23rd, recommending plenary qualification for Mr. Causey to serve in his position as Senior VP Strategic Business Services and Information Technology for Caesars Entertainment. I have also reviewed the draft resolution and I have no objections. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and find Keith Causey qualified to serve as Vice President of Strategic Business Services and Information Technology for Caesars Entertainment, Inc., in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1C, NJSA 5:12-89B 1 and 2, and NJAC 13:69C 2.7.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Vice Chair Cooper
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
I would note for the record that the draft resolution does appropriately reflect Senior Vice President. We understand that those titles are important. Item number 11 for your consideration is the plenary qualification of Brandy Ellis to serve as Senior Vice President, VIP Marketing for Caesars Entertainment. Again, Ms. Ellis's temporary qualification was considered by you at your July 15, 2020 meeting in connection with the Eldorado Caesars merger. Her title at that time remained the same. Now before you is her plenary qualification. I would ask that council introduce themselves for the record and proceed.
Again, good morning, Beth Sacco for Caesars Entertainment. Again, we've reviewed the draft resolution for the plenary qualification of Randy Ellis to serve as the Senior Vice President of VIP Marketing for Caesars Entertainment, and we would respectfully request that the relief be granted. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman and Vice Chair Cooper. Camilla Mendez Ferreira, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. The division has filed its letter report on February 23rd, 2021, recommending plenary qualification of Ms. Ellis to serve in her position as Senior VP, VIP Marketing for Caesars Entertainment. I have reviewed the draft resolution and I have no objections. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and find Randy Ellis qualified to serve as Senior Vice President of VIP Marketing for Caesars Entertainment, Inc., in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1C, NJSA 5:12-89B 1 and 2, and NJAC 13:69C-2.7.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Vice Chair Cooper?
Yes.
And Chairman Pelosi?
Yes.
Item number 12 is consideration of the plenary qualification of Eric L. Golubiski to serve as Vice President, Security Operations for Caesars Entertainment. Again, this is a follow-up to the July 15, 2020 temporary qualification of Mr. Golubiski to serve in the capacity of Vice President, Security Operations. The division has reported, council is here, and I ask that they proceed.
Again, Beth Sacco for Caesars Entertainment in connection with the for the plenary qualification of Mr. Golubiski. Again, I've reviewed the draft resolution and I have no objections, and I would respectfully request that the relief be granted and his plenary qualification be entered. Thank you.
Camilla Mendez Ferreira, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. As mentioned, Mr. Golubiski was temporarily qualified on July 15th to serve in his position as VP of Security Operations for Caesars. I just note that Mr. Golubiski has held this position since June 2018. However, he was deemed a qualifier of Caesars during the division's review of the El Dorado Caesars merger, and as a result of the reporting line changes associated with it. The division has filed its letter report on February 22, 2021, recommending his plenary qualification so he may continue to serve in his position as Vice President of Security Operations for Caesars. I have reviewed the draft resolution and I have no objection. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and find Eric L. Golubiski qualified to serve as Vice President, Security Operations for Caesars Entertainment, Inc., in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1C, NJS 5:12-89B 1 and 2, and NJAC 13:69C-2.7.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Vice Chair Cooper?
Yes.
And Chairman Pelosi?
Yes.
Item number 13 is consideration of the plenary qualification of Josh Jones to serve as Senior Vice President, Operations for Caesars Entertainment. Again, this is the last of the returns from the July 15, 2020 meeting. Temporary qualification was granted to Mr. Jones to serve in the capacity of Vice President, Senior Vice President, Operations. Plenary qualification is before you again, same council, and I would ask that they proceed accordingly.
Again, Beth Sacco for Caesars Entertainment. I draft resolution and have no objection, and I would respectfully request that the plenary qualification for Mr. Jones to serve as the Chief Marketing Officer, because the position has changed since then,
Yes.
be entered and be approved. Thank you.
Again, Camilla Mendez Ferreira, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. As mentioned by Ms. Fauntleroy, Mr. Jones was qualified on July 15th, 2020, or temporarily qualified at that meeting to serve in his Senior VP of Operations position. Ms. Sacco has just mentioned to you that his position has changed in February 2021, and he was appointed as Chief Marketing Officer. The division does not object to his plenary qualification under this updated title and has provided to you a letter report dated on February 23rd recommending his plenary qualification. I have reviewed the draft resolution and I have no objections. Thank you.
Any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and find Josh K. Jones qualified to serve as Chief Marketing Officer for Caesars Entertainment, Inc., in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1C, NJSA 5:12-89B 1 and 2, and NJAC 13:69C-2.7.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Vice Chair Cooper?
Yes.
And Chairman Pelosi?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 14 is the joint petition of MGM Resorts International and Marina District Development Company, LLC, for the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license to Kenya C. Evans pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E, and to permit her to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Executive Director, Information Technology, pending her plenary qualification. This matter has come to your attention by way of a petition filed March 2, 2021, petition number 061-2101, by council seeking the temporary qualification and temporary casino key employee licensure of Ms. Evans. Council is here on that matter, and I ask that they enter their appearance and proceed.
Good morning again, Chair Pelosi, Vice Chair Cooper, Pat Madamba, Senior Vice President of MGM Resorts International and Marina District Development Company. On behalf of MGM, MDDC, and Ms. Kenya Evans, I've read the draft resolution. It's fine in form and substance. We just ask that you grant the relief requested. Thank you.
Good morning again, Chairman Pelosi and Vice Chair Cooper, Tracy Richardson for the Division of Gaming Enforcement. We submitted a response of no objection to the request, which also included a request for residency waiver. And we've also reviewed the draft resolution and have no objections to Ms. Evans' temporary casino key employee licensure and qualification. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the joint petition and issue a temporary casino key employee license to Kenya C. Evans pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E and NJSA 19:41A-5.3, and permit her to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Executive Director of Information Technology for MGM Resorts International, pending plenary qualification, in accordance with the conditions contained in NJSA 5:12-85.1 and NJAC 13:69C-2.7, and further grant the petitioner's request to waive the residency requirement as provided for in NJSA 5:12-89B-4.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Item number 15 is the petition of Caesars Entertainment Operating Company, LLC, and Vici Properties, Inc. for approval of the Eighth Amendment to the regional lease, PRN 0472102. The initial regional lease, what at the time was called the non-CPLV lease, was approved by the commission at your May 10, 2017 meeting. Several iterations have been produced to you in the course of the time this transpired since then with regard to amendments, each of them requiring either approval by the commission, by the full commission, or via delegated authority of the chairman. In this instance, given the fact that the meeting was scheduled relatively soon after the request for the Eighth Amendment was submitted, we advanced the matter for full consideration by the commission in lieu of proceeding under the chairman's delegated authority. This is the eighth direct amendment to the regional lease. The last amendment, while it may have been quantified as the Eighth Amendment, it was an omnibus amendment to the regional lease, which included the newly acquired properties by Caesars Entertainment, Inc., but was not a specific line item amendment. Accordingly, this particular proposed amendment has been characterized, again, as the eighth direct amendment. That being said, I will now defer to council to address the matter specifically.
Good morning again, Chairman, Commissioner Cooper, Paul O'Gara, Brownstein for the petitioners. This amendment deals with the two properties which have been disposed of, which will no longer be subject to the lease. They are Louisiana Downs, which was located near Shreveport, Louisiana, and Bluegrass Downs, which was a real estate racing facility, which not a casino facility, which is located in Kentucky, I believe, near Paducah. They will no longer be subject to the lease, and there are, as when any of the properties leave the lease, several minor adjustments that are made in formulas relating to CapEx and rent. In this case, as we've represented to the Division and Commission, any of those adjustments have no effect at all on the capital expenditure plan, which was required as a condition of your approval of the merger and which has been approved by the Division of Gaming Enforcement. If you have any questions, be glad to answer them. Thank you for your consideration.
Good morning again, Chairman and Vice Chair Cooper. Camila Mendez Ferreira, Deputy Attorney General on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. The division has submitted to you its letter report of no objection to this eighth direct regional lease amendment on March 3rd. Again, as Mr. O'Gara has explained, the changes of the lease reflect a sale and disposition of properties in Kentucky and Louisiana, and the capital expenditures adjustments do not materially impact any of the AC properties. I have reviewed the draft resolution and I have no objections. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and grant the requested relief in the petition and approve the eighth direct amendment to the regional lease, subject to the extent set forth in the findings and all the conditions imposed in resolutions numbers 17-05-10-13 and 20-07-15-15.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 16 was called out of order and has been addressed. In accordance with Resolution 20120903, the next closed session will be held on Wednesday, April 14, 2021, at 9:30 a.m. in the Commission offices.
This is the public participation portion of the meeting. Ms. Fauntleroy, do we have any comments?
Mr. Chairman, we do have one comment from Dan Hennigan, and it reads, "Thank you for your continued support for problem gamblers." Dan Hennigan.
Thank you, Mr. Hennigan, for your comments, and we do support them as much as we can. We've hosted their meetings here, and we hope to host them in the future when COVID-19 is done. Any other comments?
That's the
or
only
suggestions?
comment, sir.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
I second that motion. All in favor, say aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.